washing my hands from the prawn crackers at the end of the watch along and washing my hands from the fixture, from the match. At midnight, we never speak of this again. Tomorrow is a new day. The sun will shine and rise. We will move on by the grace of God. I'm not involved. But because mandatory obligations, we must review it. Now, there's so much to unpack, so much to get into. I'm going to say this phrase and it will make sense in time. It might take time to calculate and compute. We gave everything we got. We gave them everything they got. Do you understand? We gave them everything they got. We gave everything we got. I don't think, look, there was individual performances that could have been better, but I don't think as a team, until 2 periods of the game, end of the first half, clearly they were dominating the momentum. They are pushing for the third. We need to hang on. And after the third goal, which is game over, killed, finished, you're not coming back, lie down, take your beatings, slap on the wrist, top of the head, bop, off your pop. That's a large portion of a game. I understand that. But what I'm saying is there was a lot of that game I felt like we should have been level. Now, I'm not going to say that we didn't deserve to lose because we actually did. Because we gave them everything they got. And what I mean by that is every goal that Bayern Munich scored tonight, they were gifted and given by us. Like, we helped them along their way. So it's not like, oh, I can't credit an opposition team for playing well. I absolutely can. But when you gift and give goals away in different circumstances with different situations, then what do you expect at this level? Now, it's not a panic station at all in regards to this competition because it's the first game. And it's probably the right game to get out of the way for me, and, you know, in my opinion. Play Bayern Munich away, probably the toughest alongside Barcelona at home. Get it out your system, learn harsh lessons, as you did maybe in the Club World Cup against Fluminense, and then get stronger from it, learn from it, grow from it. This is what I want to see from this, because the performance as a whole could have been better, could have been worse. We didn't capitulate, you could say, but we still conceded far too many goals from foolish situations that should never happen. Now, starting 11, first of all, I was happy with it. The only thing I was querying, doing a Q&A for, was, do we play Enzo or do we play Andre Santos? Now, I understand that Andre Santos, when he came on, was not impressive or did anything important. But context is that the game was dead at that point. So at this point, people are just coming on to just, you know, run and build up cardio and fitness and get steps in, right? So look at that how you want it. Obviously, they should be coming on to change the game, but I think the whole team was deflated after the third goal, if I'm completely honest. And Sanchez, who was fantastic today, absolutely fantastic. For the second game in a row, I'm saying between him and maybe Caicedo, I'd probably actually just make it very clear and say I'm going to go Sanchez, because Caicedo did give away a penalty, even though outside of that, I thought he was really good again and did some incredible things on the football, some wonderful flicks overheads and whatnot. But Sanchez was actually fantastic. He kept us in this game. We could have been 3-1 down a lot sooner than we were. He was making big saves. 2 big saves I can count. And I'm like, wow, that's a top goalkeeping performance. And it's the second game in a row where he hasn't really done anything wrong. And he's on the losing or the level side. Now, like I said, the lineup was pretty much just, is it Enzo, is it Santos? And the reason why I was thinking about Santos is purely because I don't know what Enzo's going to do in this type of game. I don't know what Enzo's going to do in a 10, an outright 10 position, where, yes, against PSG, we saw it. Palmer on the right, overlap on Gusto, happy with everything else. Neto on the left, absolutely. He does his due diligence, his experience, we leave the young, fresh, new faces on the bench. João Pedro in the 9 in this type of game where there is space, where you can link up and still play those passes in behind and whatnot. We'll get to him. But I understood it all, the defense, exactly how I expected it to be. James. But, boy, Santos, could you come on, could you start and be more mobile? Could you come on and have more effect? We'll never know. I guess we'll never know. But that was my only question. That was my only query. The performance, Enzo Fernandez starts off how he means to go on, because he misses a chance early on that he should really score. He takes a touch. Was it really necessary? It's all in hindsight. If he takes the touch and score, no one's complaining. But he doesn't bag when he should. That sets the tone for him. And unfortunately, Chelsea, not capitalising off that opportunity and going ahead, you do get punished at this level. This is not Noah's Ark. This is not Copenhagen. This is not Djurgården. This is the Champions League. You can't play well in parts, in patches. You can't give opposition chances and think they won't take them. This is not shots getting ballooned over the bar at Stamford Bridge, and then you go and win 2-0 in the second half after a pretty poor first half. This is not the Conference League. This is the UCL, but it is the UEFA Champions League. And in the UEFA Champions League, you must concentrate for 90 minutes, especially when it's not Paphos or Quackbag, it's Bayern Munich. We had 2 jobs today. Elise, Kane. Kane, Elise. We failed both jobs. We failed both jobs. It hurts my heart because you know I'm a massive Elise fan. And like I said, I thought we were good value to be level for most of that first half. I thought we played well in terms of we were creating some chances. I thought Palmer was excellent on that right-hand side. I thought Gusto was giving good things on that right-hand side. He made some really good defensive actions today. You know, yes, Diaz, you know, that's not an easy customer, so you have to give credit to Gusto, who defensively last year was a little bit shaky. He came in and he made some big tackles, big blocks, big interceptions, big clearances, all these kind of things. Cucurella on the left-hand side with Elise, it was a tussle. Elise is a quality player. He's a world-class player. He actually, in my opinion, has Ballon d'Or potential. If I'm going to take it that far, yes, I will. I think he's that good. The guy had 20 goals, 20 assists plus last season. That's 40 GA. I know it's the Bundesliga, but he's just that guy. He starts for Real Madrid on the right. That's the level we're dealing with. So I knew that was a problem, but I trusted Cucurella with my heart and soul to deal with him. Now, sometimes he got the better. Sometimes Cucurella wasn't tight enough. Sometimes a reverse pass or a shot just wide of the post. That's going to happen. But when you concede a free kick and the referee basically intercepts the first take, the second take, this referee, by the way, if I speak, I am in big trouble. Big trouble. So I'm going to not even speak too much about the referee. I'm going to focus on the football. Same thing I did for Brentford. If you want to cuss the referee, you are more than welcome in the comments. I don't have my cussing camera on. My side camera is for my cussing. It's not on at the moment. We will leave it. We will leave it. But if you want to cuss him for some of the things he did today, you're more than welcome. But focus on the football. The goal that we concede is from a free kick that had to be retaken. Elise receives in a 1v1 position with João Pedro, and Bob is your uncle. What do you think is going to happen when a striker has to defend 1v1 versus Elise? He's going to get the ball across the box. It's low, it's hard, it's driven, and Chalobah own goal 1-0 to Bayern Munich. Now, we move on. And we're in the game. We're still involved. We're still, you know, some nice bits of playing out. You know, the press that Bayern Munich were warning us about. You know, there's a nice competition to this. I personally, I'm not trying to be salty. Bayern Munich were not that special today. I think Kane and Elise are the standouts. I think they're the main men. I think they're the guys that make things happen. They are the world-class individuals that can change things on a football pitch, as they both did in this match. But if I'm looking at Bayern Munich as an entity, as a whole, there was nothing to be scared of today. There was nothing to be worried about. There was nothing to be confused about. Everything was exactly how it was drawn up in the playbook. We knew what the weaknesses were. We knew what the strengths were. And the strengths were the strengths, and the weaknesses were the bloody weaknesses. The amount of opportunities that we had on transition, where there is acres of space to play into, and we just need to make the right decisions, the right way to pass, the right shot, etc. And we could be getting goals. But we're not quite doing that. We are wasting a lot of those chances that may not even show up on the stat sheet. This many shots, this many big chances created, this, that, and the third. But if you watch, you will see the gaps that were there to be exploited that we just did not make the most of at times. The second goal is a penalty. I would have loved to have told you if I saw it, but unfortunately, KG, kilograms, bald fraud, is ringing me on a Wednesday when Manchester United don't even know what a Wednesday is anymore. These men are watching Newport City versus Kidderminster, trying to get that extra content. These men are ringing my phone. It's the level of shamelessness that I cannot take. So whilst I'm cussing him, I miss the kerfuffle. I look up, I see Harry Kane is placing the ball down on the grass, and I already know what happens next. Sanchez having a masterclass or not, he is not saving a penalty from Harry MBE Kane. So that's 2-0. Then we get back into the game immediately. Cole Palmer, big game again, steps up, beautiful finish, wonderful 1-2 in another transition. The right decisions are made, the right passes are played. 2-1 to the mighty Chelsea. I'm thinking we're getting back into this game. At no point up until that third goal did I feel like we wouldn't get a result. Maybe you call me delusional, maybe you call me blind, but the second part's true. But I genuinely thought we were getting something out of this game. Really do. And I don't really feel like I was wrong to think that, because I think the way the game played out, you could see there was a potential for us to do damage, but we didn't do it. We damaged ourselves. We did that. So it is what it is. Halftime comes. I didn't feel comfortable with making substitutions, but we were debating that, and I understand if some of you thought we should make subs. I completely get it. For me, I wanted to give us 10-15 to just find out if we would improve. If I was going to take off anyone, again, it would be Enzo for Santos. I would have left Neto, even though he wasn't the most, glitz and glamour today, but he could have been a lot better. I would have just, I was prepared to leave him on a little bit because I wanted to keep Cole Palmer on the right, who was cooking, finding wonderful spaces, wonderful gaps. There was beautiful overloads as well to be played today on the right. Reece James on a switch, others on a switch, but the ball is overhit, overcooked, overbaked, and you know it's frustrating because Gusto was making so many runs, so much space over there that we didn't exploit. It is what it is. There should have been multitude of crosses from Gusto coming in today. Like he should have been spamming that square like you'd never think, like you'd never believe. Second half, you know, like I said, I'm giving it 10-15. We're not really improving. As soon as that 60-minute mark hits, make the subs, Maresca. Get Enzo Fernandez off this pitch for Andre Santos earlier. Or forget Andre Santos, bring on Esteval. Go for the game if you feel like you can or you want to. Get Neto off for Garnacho earlier. Make the changes early. Early bird catches the worm. You had your mouth closed. Open your mouth. Pause. Open your mouth. Ballad Clark. I don't think I should say that. Please, just do something. Be proactive because you're waiting and we can clearly see the momentum is continuing from the end of the first half. That block, that period, from the end of the first half to the goal, the third goal. We'd already given Harry Kane an opportunity. He had shot on the near post. Sanchez had saved. He'd made a double save with a second save that was world class. And what did we do, Gusto? Gusto, come. What did you do? What did you do, Gusto? After having a good game, what did you do to me? Oh, yes. You give the ball away in build-up. And I spoke about the build-up against Brentford, and now I'm speaking about it again. This is the Champions League. You're giving the ball away, and the transition is transitioning, and guess what? Punishments are paid for. This is what happens in the Champions League. Harry Kane, he slots it in. It's the most trademark Harry Kane finish you'll ever see. It's so sickening to see him finish it exactly how you envisioned it in your nightmares, because that's what he did. It's literally, if you didn't watch the game, you don't need to see his goal. His goal is exactly what you think it is. Whatever you thought he did it. That nasty little caress corner finish. Yes, we all know. Disgusting. 3-1, game's done, dead. Then subs start coming on. Too late at that point. The game's gone. Right? Look, positives are, is match day 1. It's not going to have an implication on our qualification. We are going through to the next round. Rubber stamp it, bookmark it, clip it if you need it. We're going through. Now, learning curve. Like I said, learn from this. Learn and grow from this. Be big boys next time. Big adults. Concentration, focus, lock in. That's what we need. Not mistakes, not foolishness. Yeah? And just be better. Just be better. It's not the end of the world. It's Bayern Munich away. I had hope. I had a lot of faith coming in, but it is what it is. You know, it can happen. Like I said, if you are going to give opportunities away, you are going to be punished. I feel like Gu being on the bench is a positive because he's actually here, which is really good to see that he's just around the place. There is a lot of players on the bench. Everyone was on the bench today, so it's not like as if it's some sort of reward, like as if he's going to be on the bench on the weekend. He probably might not be. So, but when you look at our bench, there are some options, but they're half-baked a little bit, you know. Garnacho's there, Esteval's there. I trust that they would make some sort of impact some of the time. But the others, we're clutching at straws in the attack in terms of, do we really think Gittins are going to come and bring us back into the game at this current moment in his Chelsea career? Early days, so much more to learn and develop. You know, not really. You know, the others, not really. So am I saying, oh, you should have started Gu, should have done this, should have done that? No. But what I am saying is João Pedro, because we're going to speak about João Pedro. João Pedro occupying half spaces, drawing fouls, winning the ball and spreading it and placing it in positions for others to thrive. This guy is more like a tendon a lot of you would like to realize and understand. Now, I'm not saying he can never play the 9. He played the 9 today. This is a different type of game because we were having a lot of space in behind. But you're seeing quite evidently that this guy, when he drops into the midfield and he starts receiving the ball in the positions that Enzo is in, with his athleticism and his ability to carry and dribble, which is what Enzo doesn't have. So that's why playing him in these big, large games with space and transition and run and up and down and athleticism, this brother's not bringing nothing to the table. João Pedro today, if he had played in that 10, would have been far more effective than Enzo Fernandez on any counter and transition. And you know what you need to be able to do that? You guessed it, mate. A bloody striker. But it is what it is, eh? It is what it is. So, look, for me, disappointed, but we can move on Like I said, tomorrow we won't speak on this. I'm not addressing it again. I think we've said everything we need to say. Subs were late, could have been better. Same as Brentford, manager could have been better. You could have profiled defenders better in build up. You didn't have to have a right footer on the left side of centre back playing inverted passes. You didn't have to have Fofana rushed in when you have Josh Achampong, which you've worked with for a year. You didn't have to, you didn't have to do certain things that you did. But you're learning. It's his first season in 4 serious comps in Champions League. It's not Noah's Ark. It's not, trips to Kazakhstan. It's serious business. So you're going to learn along the way. That's why supplementing you with as much quality as possible is only a good thing, because you're going to need to be bailed out by individual brilliance at times when you're trying to rotate and manage these big games. But hey, ta-da, that's the end of my review. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to go and have the rest of my prawn crackers, go and make myself some dinner and head off to my bed because I am absolutely exhausted and I had some schnush over the last few 24 hours and the top of my gum is absolutely on fire. 45 milligrams of absolute hell. Yes, I threw it up. My system is cleansed and clear, but I do need my rest and my recovery. See you soon. Love and guidance.